Good morning, City Church. So obviously we're not having church this morning. As I said at our Christmas Eve services, we wanted to give our volunteers a Sunday off. Those people who serve in kids ministry and do greeting and the band, the people who work at the back tables, running sound and live stream and all of that, want to give them a Sunday off, especially during this holiday. So we're shooting this holiday video here, right by my fireplace with my stocking still up, and it's 78 degrees outside. So no fire going, it's an empty fireplace. But wanted to just look back over 2024. We're coming up next month on our 1-year anniversary from our launch. It'll be that third week in January. So that would be a great time to look back, but we'll be in the middle of a series at that point. So just want to look back now at the end of this year to think through what God has all done at City Church in the last 12 months. So obviously, we just came out of the big give, and if you were able to be at Christmas Eve, you saw some of that reveal, or if you saw the weekly email this week, we put that in there. But just a cool thing of over 300 man-hours given to our city to serve people and do ministry, and I believe it was $43,000 you gave above tithe, above what you regularly give. It was just your big give in order to bless people all around our city. I mean, what a cool thing. So that I want to celebrate. I also want to celebrate the crazy growth. Looking at the numbers from January 21st when we launched, actually I think we started measuring even the 1st of January, to the end of summer. So that's about a 6-7 month period. We averaged 231 people on a Sunday morning. Since then, since school started in August, from August to today, we've averaged 308. So that's a 33% growth in 4 or 5 months. And we just see more of that happening. God's just doing a great thing. So what a thing to celebrate is God is growing us and doing some pretty incredible things through the year. Coming in 2025, we're going to do some more series that I think will be helpful to reach your neighbors. We're going to start with a vision sermon in January about kind of who we are and where we're at. And then we're going to jump into the questions that shape us. Who am I? Where do I fit? What am I here for? We're going to answer some of those questions. Then we're going to do a series called Hated. Jesus said that if we follow him, we'll be hated. What does that mean? That seems kind of dark. And so we're going to jump into that for a few weeks, see what that means. And then as we roll into spring right before Easter, we're going to do my favorite series, probably, Two-Step In. The Two-Step In will be coming. And so we're going to do like we did last year, some fun things built around that. We're going to be giving away Two-Step In tickets again. So if you didn't get some for Christmas, make sure you're in church, invite some people, and maybe we'll just win some of those tickets. I want to tell you, too, just about the finances of the church. Most people probably don't care about that, but just want to let you know where we're at. We have been really blessed. We're going to be well into the black at the end of this year. The vast majority of our money is used for ministry. We have some very low fixed expenses. And God has been so good to us, and you've been so generous. We are looking at making some potential hires in 2025. We're looking at hiring an administrative assistant that will come along and serve alongside me and help me kind of organize things and just make my time grow, probably exponentially by that help. And then if we find the right person, we're going to hire an associate pastor. We don't have a person in mind, and we're actually not going to be in a rush for that. We want to find the right person that fits City Church, fits who we are. But we are going to start looking and just see what the Lord may do. And then along the way, this next year, we're going to continue looking at what the Lord might do for us as far as building or things like that. We honestly could be at big for years to come. We don't know. We don't have any definitive plans, but we do see God growing us. And a lot of people showing up. The first Christmas Eve service, if you're at it, and it was standing room only. We'll be at the Sheraton for Easter, which will relieve some of that pressure. But as God continues to bring people, we're going to figure out what that means. Does that mean 3 services? Does that mean a video venue? Does that mean building? Does that mean finding another place in Georgetown through the miraculous movement of God? Because there's just not much. We're going to figure those things out in 2025. So those are a couple things to be praying for, future staff and future place. Now I want to tell you a little bit about some things that are happening in our age groups. Kids ministry has taken off in the fall. A lot of that is the work of our kids ministry people. Jenna Shotwell, Michelle Marshall does events for us for kids ministry. And then the people who are just serving every Sunday and helping out in doing kids ministry. Our kids ministry facilities aren't the greatest. They're not designed for kids ministry, but our people are the greatest. And once we started these monthly events, we started seeing more and more growth of families and kids, which has been a pretty cool thing. One of the things I'm really excited about in 2025 is we have recruited some full-time kids ministry people. We still have some people that rotate through, and we'd love for you to help out in that area if you feel a calling to kids. But we've got some people who've risen up to the occasion and are going to be full-time at each hour and each grade level. And that's just going to bring consistency to kids ministry that we haven't had yet. I'm very excited about that. So kids ministry blowing up, student ministry is going crazy. In the spring, we don't meet for students during the summer. We do events, things like that. But our Wednesday night ministry in the spring averaged 46 teenagers. When we started back up in the fall, when school started, from the fall till Christmas, we averaged 77 students. That's a 67% growth in one semester. And again, a lot of great work by Amanda Levi and our volunteers that are helping in student ministry. What I'm most excited about student ministry is coming into the fall, they've started small groups. And I don't know the exact number, probably somewhere around 11, 12, something like that, small groups of full-time adults. They're coming every Wednesday to meet with kids and to talk about the Bible together. Pretty incredible thing in kids ministry, student ministry. And then our young adults. Earlier, I guess it was this year, one of our first small groups we had was our young adult small group. And they gelled real quick. And it's really cool to watch some of those relationships happen. To have a place in Georgetown for 18 to 35-year-olds. There's just not a lot of things happening in Georgetown. And we've got a great small group and are looking to grow some of those. We've also gotten on the campus of Southwestern by hanging out with their FCA. And we've got a ministry that takes food out to them like every other FCA meeting. Bless them with some incredible final study package things. And so we're starting to build relationships with Southwestern students. Have a couple that come on Sunday mornings. And we just want to be a church that is reaching that younger generation. So keep praying about Southwestern and how you can help us reach those students. Another great thing, we have almost 30 college kids who are City Church college kids that are off to college. And we're doing ministry to them as well this past semester, and they're going to expand that. We've got 10 different people that contact those kids and send them care packages, trying to create events for them when they come home. And so if you got a heart for college students, we got a lot of places where you can help us figure that out and do ministry for them. Now, I want to wrap this up. This obviously isn't going to be an hour-long video, just kind of a check-in on your Sunday morning. For those of you who can't do Sunday without church, this is for you. Others of you probably don't even know this is happening. But I want to tell you about 2025, what's coming up. We are doubling down on our small group plan. Earlier in the year, I started asking people who'd be interested in small group, and people started sending in emails and filling out some forms saying, hey, we're interested in small groups. And then I tabled it. And one of the reasons why I tabled it was our initial plan was going to be, hey, here's some parents of teen small groups. Here's the young adult small group. Here's empty nest small group. And that's just a hard way to do small group, to kind of just be assigned people who are going to be your 2 a.m. friends. 2 a.m. friends aren't assigned and found. So what we're going to do coming into 2025 is have some Bible studies, some short-term Bible studies, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. We've got one coming up for marriage. We'll have one for experiencing God already on the books, and a few more we're going to be looking at. And some of those will be age-specific, but some of them will be just for the entire church. And we want you to come and be involved in some of those if some of those Bible studies are of interest to you. The idea will be some teaching or some video-driven teaching or maybe some book work, depending on how the Bible study is written. But what will always happen is there will be some small group time in a circle. But you're only going to commit to about 6 to 8 weeks at a time. Our hope is, though, that as you're sitting with some people for 6 to 8 weeks, studying the Bible, talking about a topic and what God's Word says about it, then when it comes to an end, you might look around that room and go, these are my people. And then you can just keep going after that. But if you come to that group and that's really not your people, you can look for another one. And until you find the people who are going to be yours. So we are going to do small groups. We're just shifting our philosophy of how we do them to make them a little bit more organic in how they happen. Another big thing we're going to focus on in 2025 is prayer. We've got a prayer ministry that's about to be starting. We've got people ready to go. I've honestly been the one just kind of trying to get my stuff together so we can get it launched. But 2025, it's going to be a priority for us. And so if you're a prayer warrior, we're going to have ways for you to pray. We'll have a team that is specifically praying on Sunday mornings and praying for some very sensitive and specific things. But then we're going to have some ways for everyone to pray. And so we'll be telling you more about that as the year goes on. One of the things we're working on right now is an org chart for all of the ways we serve. Trying to put it in print so that we can see what areas we have, what areas we need, so that when you're looking for a place to serve, we can more easily say, hey, here are some things that are open, and find something that you resonate with. That's also going to help us do our leadership development a lot more, knowing who's where and what they're doing. We're also going to focus some on membership. Our membership at City is a little bit different. It is an annual membership. So in about 3 days, we'll have 0 members for 2025, and we will start that re-up. We have a whole list of things that are required for membership. And really, we see that as a discipleship tool. Either you're already doing those things that are pointing you towards a healthy and vibrant walk with Jesus, or you're looking at it and going, that's my next step. And so we've listed some of those things out, which are kind of core, what a church member should do. And so as you look at those things and go, hey, that's me, or that's what I'm walking towards, we want you to move from just coming and regular tender to being bought in and being a member at City. It's a 1-year commitment, and then we re-up in 2026. Lastly, close up with this. Here's what I would love for you to start praying about. In 2025, I would love for every person that comes to City to serve at City in some way. Student ministry, kids ministry, young adult, prayer ministry, greeter, setup, tear down. We can always use people helping our setup, tear down teams. All kinds of different ways to serve. We've got places. You might create a place that serves at the local church, City Church. We want you to do that. We also, in 2025, would love for you to find a way to serve our city. Not City Church, but our city, Georgetown, Round Rock, Gerald, Salado, Liberty Hill, wherever you live. Find a way to use your gifts and talents in the marketplace, in your neighborhood, to serve people in the city. It doesn't have to be an ongoing thing. I'll give you a great example of my wife. She is a sign language interpreter. And she was able a couple times to walk over to Big this year, not during a Sunday morning, but just during their regular hours of operation, and use her gifts and skills of sign language to help some of the citizens at Big. So that's a way to serve the city. So love for you to serve the church, love for you to serve in your city somehow or another, and love for you to continue inviting people. Who is it that you work with, your neighbors, family, friends of your kids, that don't have a church home that you could invite sometime in 2025 to what God is doing? Remember, we are a church that's handing the keys to the next generation to lead a church that unchurched people want to come to. You guys have been doing a great job doing that, and 2025 is going to be even better.